Hey, Steve Zook here. Welcome back to Poke Sue Channel and the Guitar Ladder System. Hey, this is the it's either a '69 or '70 Yamaki made in Japan acoustic guitar. This is really a high quality guitar. I played it for hours last night. I can't put it down. But I want to talk about today is listening to a 50-year-old guitar when you're adjusting it. It may sound a little zen or metaphysical, but there's something to it. I'm not a guitar repair guy, but I've learned a lot by doing this for 35, 40 years. And some guitars, I'm able to do some things, simple things, and this truss rod on this, if a guitar hasn't been adjusted, I think I had this at 10.99. I'll go 7.49 on this plus shipping. This is really a rare guitar, especially with the rare flamed mahogany back and everything. But this guitar just sounds incredible. I've never heard any guitar that sounds like this, and I've had pre-war 30s. I've had 30s Martins and all kinds of stuff. Buying and selling for over 30 years. I've never heard anything with this tone. I don't even know how to explain it. It just has such a musical voice. You can feel it in your chest, and just an incredible tone. But when I got this guitar, it hadn't had the truss rod adjusted for a while. So what I did with this guitar. This is the bridge is rattling a little bit. That's an easy fix. But somebody might want to dial this in a little bit more. It's getting to the point now though where it's almost. I played the hell out of it last night. The action's a little bit high, but it's not something that's not fixable. You can always have a luthier sand the bridge down and then bring the saddle down a little bit more by sanding the bridge and the inside of the brass on the saddle. But what I'm trying to talk about here is when I first got this guitar, I could tell I hadn't had the truss rod adjusted for a long time. So what I did, as opposed to doing it all at once, because to me, if you adjust a truss rod all at once, it's kind of harsh on the guitar. So what I did is I've adjusted it probably 5 or 6 separate times and just a little bit each time. And my theory on that is it kind of allows the truss rod to kind of ease into different parts of the neck, because if you're doing some big radical adjustment all at one time, you're putting pressure in one area. And my theory on this is if you do little adjustments at a time, the entire truss rod is kind of easing into itself, because truss rods can get stuck inside of the neck. They can get frozen, they can get stuck. Some people will actually take a neck and kind of rock it and try to free it. But if the truss rod gets stuck in there, you're kind of screwed. Sometimes you can loosen them up, sometimes you just can't. So what I did is, to play it safe, is I've adjusted this guitar probably 5 or 6 times, usually waiting hours, sometimes waiting all night. Like I'll adjust it at night and then the next day do it. So waiting 11, 12 hours. But the more I adjust this neck, and it's starting to get pretty nice, is the guitar just seems to get more musical every time I adjust it. And it's in fact last night I adjusted it. It was probably maybe the 5th time I've adjusted it, and man, the guitar just took on a whole nother level of resonance and just really beautiful tone. This is a. This is rattling a little bit, but this guitar just sounds amazing. So my suggestion is, if you have a guitar that you don't think had the truss rod adjusted for 40, 50 years and you're doing it yourself, do it a little bit at a time. Let the guitar ease into itself. Wait hours and then do a little bit more, because I feel it's a little, a bit of a shock on a guitar to do a really large adjustment. And when I got this guitar, like I said, it obviously needed the truss rod adjustment. The neck's looking pretty good right now. The tone on this thing is just. Just sounds so nice. I'll go $749 this guitar. It comes with a hard case. I really prefer a bank wire transfer. I'm not really nuts about Zelle and PayPal and all that. I recently did sell a guitar on PayPal, but I've had some trouble with PayPal that wasn't my fault. And, you know, I really just prefer, or you can even send me a check. I'd rather you send it priority mail so it gets to me in a couple of days. It has to clear. But I worked really hard to find special guitars, and this is really, really a special guitar. I've got the truss rod cover, but like I said, the neck is just adjusted beautifully. Like I said, I've adjusted it many, many times, and it just keeps, the guitar just keeps getting more musical. It's so cool. But yeah, this really has a tone, and very, very, very light too, which is one of the reasons I think it sounds so good. It's hard to show the flame on the back. But you know, you can look at the back from one angle and it just looks like mahogany, and then you look at another angle and you see the flame. It just looks so beautiful. It's kind of like an optical illusion or something. But yeah, this is really a beautiful guitar. But I've never heard a guitar that has this tone. Like I said, it reminds me a lot of a 30s pre-war Martin. I had a couple 0017 30s pre-war Martins that sold for a lot of money, and this guitar reminds me a lot of that. But with a little more openness to the tone, a little more orchestral, pianistic voice. And by the way, there's luthiers out there that work out of the garage that are really good. Some of them are really, really good, and they charge a hell of a lot less than somebody at a shop. I'm not trying to put down people that work at a shop. That's not my style. There's a lot of people that have shops that do good work, but you know, they have overhead. They have employees, they have rent, and they have to charge a little bit more, and it's worth the money. But I'm just saying, sometimes you can find somebody that works at home or has a really, really small little, you know, bedroom size office that does really great work that's significantly lower in price, you know. But yeah, this guitar is getting to the point where I almost could just keep it and do hardly anything to it, because I just keep adjusting it and adjusting it. But somebody might want to dial this in, you know. Like I said, the action's not super high now. It's a lot lower than when I first started adjusting it. Some people probably would love it like this, but some people might want it a little bit lower. Like I said, you just ask a luthier to sand down the bridge, and then I think you need to take this little piece out here and then sand the bottom of it. Usually it's brass in there, and then we bring everything down. But this is a lot of guitar. Anyway, so my suggestion was, if you get a guitar that hasn't had the truss rod adjusted for 30, 40, 50 years, don't just do one big, huge, you know, adjustment. Do a small adjustment, wait hours, do another one, because the truss rod puts pressure on the inside of the neck in different areas, I believe. And I think by doing many, many small adjustments, it keeps things more even. It kind of conditions the inside of the neck a little bit with the pressure, and I feel that it makes it more you know, open to adjustment by doing it a little bit at a time. It kind of, you know, puts pressure in different areas of the inside of the neck. But this is, I've never adjusted a truss rod so many times on a guitar as this one, but it's really worked out good, and it's been really fun, because every time the first couple, 2 or 3 adjustments, I didn't hear a lot of difference, but when I got to about the 4th adjustment, I started hearing the guitar sounding better and more musical. with those adjustments. And then like last night, I adjusted it for maybe the fifth time, maybe sixth. I'm not sure, and the guitar just came into a whole nother level of magic. It's really fun to hear that. But it's solid in there. Everything's fine with the truss rod. It's adjusting fine. It's just like I said, it hasn't been adjusted for 30, 40, 50 years. So I think it was smart of me. It's almost like, this is gonna sound really new agey. It's almost like the guitar was telling me to adjust it a little bit at a time. It's going, oh, let's be safe. Let me ease into this, man. You know. But anyway, this is such a nice guitar. I'm really gonna miss it. I've been playing this guitar every night, and I've got a lot of guitars. I'm obviously in DADGAD, and don't tell me it sounds great just because it's in DADGAD. That's bullshit. Okay, this is an incredibly rare guitar that sounds unbelievable. I'm not overselling. I know what I'm doing. I don't sell junk. I work my ass off to find great stuff. This is one hell of a box, man. It's a lot of guitar for $749. I think it's a great investment too. Yeah, this guitar just has, it's always so difficult to describe tone, but it's got that great made in Japan sound, but it's got, you know, kind of some old Martin in it, but with a little, still has definition and clarity, but there's a roundness and a musicality of the tone and just a resonance because it's light. One of the biggest problems with guitars is they're overbuilt, and a lot of the big companies overbuild the guitars on purpose so they can ship them all over the world and not worry about the bracing coming loose and the guitar falling apart. So, you know, time to, you know, the really great vintage guitars are you know, hard to find, but they're really, you know, if you can find a good one, it's worth it, you know. But I've got the truss rod cover for it. But yeah, this guitar really has a sound. I'm really gonna miss it. This is the truss rod cover. I'm just keeping it off because I'm like I said, I'm doing a lot of adjustments to the neck a little bit at a time, and it's coming out beautiful. Like I said, these screws are rattling a little bit. But anyway, this is really a special guitar. So anyway, if you have a vintage guitar, as opposed to doing a big, you know, huge adjustment in one or two shots, adjust it a little bit, let it sit for a few hours, then come back and adjust it again. Maybe wait, you know, 12 hours for the next adjustment. Like spread it out so that the pressure inside the neck area where the truss rod isn't putting a whole bunch of pressure and having to make an abrupt change too quick and putting too much pressure in one area because you don't want the thing to get stuck and you don't want to break the truss rod. So that makes sense to me. Anyway, hell of a box. This really needs to go to a good home. It's a Zen thing with me. I like to think my guitars go to just the right person. Somebody out there, I think, is going to see this or hear it and just resonate with it and just want to have it, and they understand that it's not a big deal to dial it in a little bit more, you know. All right, folks, Yamaki. See, the guy I got it from said it was a 69 that he looked it up. It could be a 69 or 70, you know. Really pretty beautiful cosmetic condition, you know. And like I said, it plays a ton better than when I first got it. It's taken the neck adjustments really, really nice. And yeah, this is real. I'm not overselling stuff. The stuff I find, folks, is really hard to find. Very not easy to find, almost damn near impossible sometimes, really. I think because I love music so much and I love guitar so much, the universe helps me find great guitars. Like I've got a Guild X50 right now. I'm gonna let go for $1,000. It's unbelievable. It's on my reverb. You know, it sounds like an old Gibson L7. It's a '65 Guild, but it just sounds incredible, even unplugged. I played it for my daughter. She said, "Well, it sounds plugged," you know, and it just has a beautiful setup. It plays perfect. It needs nothing. It doesn't have a pickguard, but I'll let that one go for $1,000. It's a '65, but that's an undervalued guitar, a very undervalued Guild X50. Anyway, but this guitar is very special as well, and I'm gonna really, really miss it when it's gone. You know. All right, guys, take care.